So, something like that, H there. Okay, if we extend the two flips, which would be just up to here, picture we just saw, and add a flip, so each possibility, each of the four possibilities could then be followed by a head or a tail. Okay, so we do that for each of the four possibilities we have there. It's going to give us 8 possibilities, right? Okay, then we could list, and watch this listing, this is important, okay? So if I just go from top to bottom, and what I've done, of course, is I've listed the head above the tail each time, right? Turns out that's alphabetical order, but if I now go down through the picture from here to here to here to here, the 8 possible paths, I say I've got head, 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 tail. What's the next one? Where do I end up with the next one? Here's where I end up, here's where, how do I end up here? What do I get to end up here?
Heads, tail, head.
Head, tail, head, right? Okay? And then head, tail, tail, right? And what do you notice about the order in which I've listed these? It's alphabetical. Okay? So I could just put H's and T's down in every possible order as long as I stay alphabetical, right? It's pretty easy to do that. And I've done everything I can with heads at the beginning. Okay? So now I do tails. And of course I just go here. I go down to my tails now. Tail, head, head. And then tail, head, tail, 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 head, tail, 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 head. Tail, 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 right? Okay? And these are all equally likely. So for 3 heads, there's only one way. And for 3 tails, there's one way. For 2 heads, how many ways are there we get 2 heads? Well, here's one, here's one, and there's another, there it is. There are 3 of them, right? And for 3 tails, one, 2, 3 ways. Okay? That makes sense?
Yeah.
Now, if I make a histogram of this, a bar graph, it's going to look like this. I have 1 way to get no heads, 3 ways to get 1 head, 3 ways to get 2 heads, 1 way to get 3 heads. Okay? Then if you go to 4 flips, there's an easy way to write down the possibilities for 4 flips. You could write down the tree diagram, but that gets kind of messy, okay? All I got to do is write this down, okay? So I write down heads, 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 tails, and I'm just writing them down alphabetically. Okay? I write them down. Then I write them down again. Now, why would I do this? That's everything that can happen on 3 flips, right? Now, if I'm going to do 4 flips, one way to do 4 flips is to do 1 flip and then do 3 flips. You agree that if I do 1 flip and then 3 flips, I will have done 4 flips?
Yeah.
You could probably prove that, okay? So everything can happen in 3 flips is listed here. The 1 flip that I do first is either going to be a head or a tail, right? So what I do is I go ahead and just put a head in front of all of these. And I'll put a tail in front of all of these. Okay? When I do that, I can count these up rather easily. Okay, to get 0 heads, there's just one way. That would be the all heads, right? I'm not going to circle them this time. Just take my word for it, and then you can check it out yourself. 4 heads, again, one way. Okay, 0 heads would be this one, all tails. 4 heads would be this one. You get 1 head, 2 heads, 3 heads, okay? Okay, well, it turns out to get 1 head, there are 4 ways. 2 heads, there are 6 ways. 3 heads, there are 4 ways. Make sense? Now I could go on list. I could write all these down twice and then put a head in front or a tail in front, right? I'd have 32 possibilities. Okay. If I do the histogram, I've got 0 heads, there's 1 way. Okay, 1 head, there's 4 ways. 2 heads, there are 6 ways. 3 heads, there are 4 ways. 4 heads, there's 1 way. So it'd be like 1, 4, 6, 4, 1. That's your histogram. Okay? Does that have anything to do with a bell-shaped curve? I draw a pretty good bell-shaped curve.
Oh my goodness.
I just kind of following that histogram, right?
Yeah.
And the limit, as n goes to infinity, you get the bell-shaped curve, the normal distribution. And we'll be talking about that, okay? Has a lot to do with error measurements and so forth. But right now, we're just trying to get the coin flips down.